Hey everyone, today, I'm beyond excited to share a truly special story with you. A heartwarming journey that will touch your soul, all about the meeting between Tieu Huyen and little Maya. Tieu is a kind-hearted man, full of compassion and humility. Then there's Huyen, a strong single mom, fiercely protective of her little family, including her sweet daughter, Maya, and their determined disabled dog, BBE. In the last episode, thanks to their kindness, Tieu and his friend Adam helped Tieu, and that kindness was rewarded with a priceless opportunity: meeting Huyen and her beautiful little family. Today's story is all about love, the kind that brings tears of joy and warm smiles that linger in your heart long after. It's a story you won't want to miss. So, let's open the door to this emotional world together. If this story moves you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and share the video to spread the love. Wishing you all an amazing time watching. Let's dive into today's story. On a peaceful morning, the soft sunlight filtered through the palm leaves, casting a warm glow on the winding trail ahead. Tieu and Adam had everything ready, and the excitement was clear on Tieu's face. Tieu, after a long period of exhaustion, finally managed to smile today, though there was still a lingering unease beneath the surface. Tieu looked at her, his voice gentle but determined. "Are you ready to take me to meet Huyen today?" Tieu glanced around, her eyes showing hesitation, as though something wasn't quite right. She scanned the surroundings, almost searching for a sign, but found none. Sensing her discomfort, Adam stepped closer and asked softly, "Is something wrong? Let's go." Under the warm sun, the three of them continued their journey. The narrow path twisted and turned, making their steps feel even more urgent. But Tieu's joy never wavered. Tieu, however, remained uneasy, her eyes darting to every corner as if looking for some reassurance. Tieu and Adam hadn't noticed anything amiss until Adam's concerned voice broke through the silence. "Are you all right?" Tieu didn't answer immediately. She kept walking, the sense of unease building in her chest. Then, as they reached the crossroads, a familiar figure appeared in the distance. She couldn't believe her eyes. It was her ex-husband, the man she once loved and was betrayed by. A wave of panic surged within her. Her legs went weak, and in that moment, she hurriedly ducked into a nearby bush, praying no one would notice her presence. Tieu and Adam continued, unaware of the situation unfolding. It wasn't until the couple had walked out of sight that Tieu cautiously emerged from her hiding spot, her heart still racing despite knowing there was nothing to fear anymore. The unease wouldn't leave her. Her mind was spinning, and her steps quickened. Pointing ahead, she said with quiet resolve, "Huyen's house is over there." The three of them pressed forward, but this time there was a palpable tension in the air. Tieu couldn't shake the unease in her heart. Even though she had made the decision to keep moving, this wasn't just about meeting Huyen. It was about things left unsaid, secrets buried deep in the past. Secrets only Tieu truly understood. In the small room that Huyen shares with her daughter, a sense of calm fills the air, offering a peaceful refuge amid the chaos of busy days. Early in the morning, as the soft light filters through the window, it dances gently across the simple corners of their home, casting a tranquil glow. In that moment, Huyen looks at Maya, her face filled with love, and tenderly says, "How about we cut your hair today, sweetie?" Maya, with her sparkling eyes, looks up at her mom and beams a bright smile, eager and without hesitation. She sits patiently beside Huyen, her tiny hands gently smoothing her long hair. Huyen brushes her daughter's soft locks with a loving touch, speaking in a gentle, affectionate tone. "I'll cut it short for you so it's easier for you to get ready for school." Huyen's eyes light up as she admires Maya's adorable hair. So simple, so pure, and so full of life. These innocent moments fill Huyen's heart with warmth like nothing else. Once the haircut is done, Huyen lovingly tells Maya, "Stay home and play with BBE. Okay, Mom will go out for a bit just to chop some bamboo, and I'll be back soon." Maya's eyes shimmer with innocence and affection as she throws her arms around her mother in a tight hug. It's a hug full of tenderness, a promise of closeness in the days ahead. Huyen smiles, pats Maya's head, and steps outside to take care of her daily tasks. Maya sits down on the floor, her gaze fixed on BBE, the little dog, as she begins to play with him. The room fills with the sweet sound of Maya chanting her ABCs, blending with the soft scratch of a pencil on paper. Each letter repeats in a rhythm, creating a small, intimate space for learning, nestled in a world filled with endless love. Despite the uncertainties of the world outside, in this little room, Maya and her mother share moments of quiet, simple joy. Moments of warmth and happiness that overflow with a kind of love only they can understand. Day could feel the joy in his heart as they neared their destination, with only a small stream left to cross. The sound of the water flowing was like a gentle melody, soothing and melodic as it blended with the morning air. The clear water shimmered, reflecting the first rays of sunlight, glowing softly in the ethereal light. One by one, the three of them carefully stepped across, their feet sinking into the cool, refreshing stream, moving gently over the slippery stones. Day turned to Adam, his eyes sparkling with both excitement and a bit of surprise, whispering, "The path to Huyen's house is no easy walk." Indeed, the way to Huyen's little home was far from simple. Winding streams snaked through the landscape, while tall bamboo thickets seemed to reach up, almost obscuring the path. But it was this simplicity that gave the place a sense of warmth and intimacy. Day continued, his eyes taking in the familiar sights around him. As they approached, the scene of the house emerged before Day's eyes like a painted picture. Despite this being his first visit, everything felt so familiar, as if he had been here before, as if he had once felt the peace of this place. He stood quietly, taking in the surroundings, his emotions beyond words. Suddenly, a cheerful voice rang out from inside, breaking the stillness. "Ah, Bok Day's here." Day jumped, but the surprise quickly melted into a wide smile. His heart leapt with joy, as though the long journey had just come to an end. And this was the moment he had been waiting for. "Maya, I finally get to see Maya." He couldn't hold back his happiness, rushing forward to hug the little girl. Maya, now all grown up, stood there, greeting Day with a bright, radiant smile. Tears of joy welled up in Day's eyes. He embraced Maya warmly, his voice thick with emotion. "I've missed you so much, Maya. You've grown so much." Maya looked up at Day, her eyes innocent yet full of affection, responding with a sweet, endearing remark. "Mom Huyen misses you a lot too, Bok Day." Day smiled softly and, setting his backpack down, pulled out a gift bag he had prepared for this meeting. He handed it to Maya, his eyes scanning the surroundings, but he didn't see Huyen. A wave of worry crept over him. He asked, "Where is Huyen, Maya?" Maya answered calmly, without a hint of concern. "Mom went out to get some bamboo, Bok Day." Hearing this, Day felt a wave of peace wash over him. Everything around him still felt calm, just as he had imagined it would be, even without Huyen there. The warmth of the love shared among these familiar faces made the little house feel full of tranquility and happiness. The three of them waited together, soaking in the cozy atmosphere and the love that filled the air. The thick bamboo that Huyen carried was tightly bound, yet it still seemed to be carried away by the flowing stream, almost as if it wanted to merge with the vastness of nature. A wave of exhaustion crept into her body, but she didn't falter. She gripped the bamboo tighter and continued walking along the narrow path beside the stream. Each step, though heavy, was filled with determination. After what felt like an endless journey, she finally found herself nearing her beloved home. Huyen paused, looking at the little house, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace. Everything seemed just as it had always been, still serene and untouched by time. But as her gaze swept over the scene, a sudden wave of anxiety washed over her. Maya didn't seem to be home. Her heart raced, and in a moment of panic, she tossed the bamboo to the side and hurried towards the house. "Maya, where are you?" Huyen called out, her voice filled with worry. She couldn't hide the fear clear on her face as she rushed forward, her eyes darting around, desperately searching for her daughter. She called again, her voice choking with concern. But in the midst of that desperation, a voice rang out from afar. "Mom, it's Bok Day." Huyen froze, her feet rooted to the ground, unable to believe her ears. It was Maya's voice. But why was she calling out for Bok Day? Huyen turned, her heart skipping a beat. The sight before her was almost too surreal to comprehend. Day, the man she had thought was nothing more than a distant memory, was standing right there, holding Maya in his arms. The shock was overwhelming, the moment too incredible to process. Huyen stood frozen, her eyes locked on Day, struggling to understand what was happening. The world around her seemed to quiet, the only sound the rustling of the trees in the breeze. She looked into Day's eyes, unable to believe that this man from so far away in the north had made the journey to find them, to overcome all the obstacles just to reunite with her and her daughter. A tidal wave of emotion surged through her. Shock, disbelief, and an overwhelming wave of gratitude and love mixed together. She had never imagined that the difficult days would end like this, with such a surprising and touching reunion. Day had come, carrying with him memories, hopes, and a love she never knew was still there. Huyen stood there, overwhelmed with feelings, staring at Day's face, at a loss for words. The image of him holding Maya, the moment itself, felt like a scene from a heartfelt movie, a moment that would stay with her forever, one she would never forget. Day took slow, deliberate steps, moving closer to Huyen. His eyes, still red from the emotions he couldn't hold back, met hers. All the worries and fears that had haunted him before seemed to vanish the moment he saw her, the woman he had searched for tirelessly for so long. A wave of happiness washed over him with every breath he took. He looked at Huyen, his voice cracking, his eyes brimming with both pain and overwhelming joy. "Why did you leave me?" His words, straight from the depths of his heart, seemed to burst out all at once, and tears of happiness streamed down his face. "Do you know how hard I fought just to find you and Maya?" Huyen stood there, unable to hold back her own emotions as she heard Day's words. Her voice trembled with emotion, her eyes as red as raindrops falling in early spring. "I'm sorry, I didn't have any other choice," she said, her voice soft but full of sincerity. Her apology was soaked in the pain of their years apart, all the worries she had carried bundled into that single sentence. Day couldn't stand still any longer. He rushed to her, pulling Huyen into a tight embrace. "You really plan to leave me?" he whispered, his voice shaking with emotion. Huyen burst into tears, the pain of the past mingling with a sense of release after so many long, difficult years. "I didn't want them to hurt you," she said, her eyes filled with sorrow as they met Day's. "I chose to leave to protect you." The sight before them was deeply moving. The tears they shared were a mix of happiness and heartbreak, of wounds healed and love found again. After all the hardship, Day's belief in love still burned brightly. Gently, he stroked Huyen's hair and whispered into her ear, "No matter what happens, I won't let you and Maya suffer anymore." Maya, standing nearby, stepped forward. She wiped away her mother's tears and looked at Day with innocent, caring eyes. "Bok Day, please don't let Mom cry anymore," Maya said, her voice as pure as a refreshing spring. Day looked at her with a gaze full of love and resolve. He pulled both Huyen and Maya into a tight embrace, feeling the warmth of his family, the bond he had longed for. "I'll take care of both of you," Day whispered. "I'll give Maya a better life." His words, soft yet full of strength, were a promise, a vow that he would never abandon them again. Huyen, overwhelmed with emotion, looked at him, her eyes filled with a happiness she had never known. "This little house will be our home," she said, her voice warm and hopeful. "We have to work together, okay?" Maya took Day and Huyen's hands, her bright eyes sparkling and her sweet smile lighting up the room. "Bok Day, will you stay with Mommy and me?" Maya asked, her innocent voice full of trust. Day smiled, his eyes shining with happiness as he gazed into her pure, trusting eyes. From this moment on, he knew nothing could tear this small family apart. Together, they would build a life full of love, strength, and happiness, with no more fears or worries. Thank you.